Hey folks, this episode of Witchpolice Radio is brought to you by our friends at the Park Theatre. The Park is putting on a very unique event. If you're a fan of the 90s show Buffy the Vampire Slayer, this is the event for you. It's called Buffy Prom, and it takes place June 17th at 7 p.m. The event was created actually in California by the podcast Buffering the Vampire Slayer, who held their own fantastic Buffy Prom in celebration of reaching the prom episode in their series. So get on your best throwback or vampire-themed costumes and join the Park for a fully themed Buffy Prom dance party, featuring DJ K Chetta and awesome 90s music, appetizers, dessert, and a costume contest and door prizes. All this for just over $15 a ticket. Tickets will be available at the Park Theatre, Into the Music on Osborne, and online at Ticketfly. This week's episode of Witchpolice Radio is brought to you by Fourth Quarter Records. It's a Winnipeg-based label and recording studio home to Threepeat, as well as Eggs, Solo Projects, and Charlie Fetta. You can find their merchandise, including the awesome new Threepeat hoodies, online at fourthquarterrecords.com. And if you haven't seen these things, you should definitely check them out. I mean, a lot of local artists are wearing them right now, and it's very cool to see the support from across genres. As soon as those Threepeat hoodies came out, I've been seeing all kinds of people posting on social media, and it's, people in rock bands, electronic music, soul music, whatever. They're all sort of sporting the Threepeat gear. So there's definitely a lot of love and support for Threepeat within the local music community at large, and it's very cool to see.
You're listening to Garbage Hill, Winnipeg's first podcast network.
Welcome to Witchpolice Radio. I'm your regular host Sam, and I am outside for the first time this year doing one of these. Usually we undertake a bunch outside, but usually more in the summer and stuff. But, it's decent weather right now. It's above zero, I think. Something like that.
There's a little bit of snow.
A little bit of snow, mostly gone.
I can feel my fingers, so that's good.
Right, exactly, yeah. It's safe, no one's going to die. So this is kind of a first, I think, for the show, in that we have a band that is from out of town and out of country. Kind of.
Oh, really?
I mean, we got...
I guess. I mean, I don't know who you've had on the show, I guess.
Well, you should have been listening for the past 6
years.
Wait a
minute. No. What about the Marley kid there?
Okay, yeah, that was a bit of an unusual situation, though. Like,
Ooh, you've done your research.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, he just knew that I interviewed Ziggy Marley.
Yeah, that's
true.
But I think it was in around the time me and Sam were formally introduced that was happening.
Probably.
And I was like, wow, this guy's legit.
Yeah, and then you see everyone else I interview is just weird local bands.
Like, the guy lives down the street and stuff.
Yeah.
Lizzie's friends. Or are we allowed to mention your kids' names on the recording?
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Oh, I don't know.
Anyway, but just to get actually on track here, though.
Okay.
So rewind to where I just said you're from out of town and out of country. There's definitely a Winnipeg connection here because we have one current Winnipegger, one former Winnipegger here.
Yeah.
But the former Winnipegger is no longer a Winnipegger. So I think the best way to do this...
You can take the boy out of Winnipeg? No.
Well, the boy of 16 different countries.
Yeah, that's true enough.
But the way to make it easier for anyone who's listening to understand is just let's go around the table here. Everyone identify who they are, what they do in the band, which by the way is called Project Constellation. I don't think we mentioned that yet.
No.
But so who are you? What do you play in the band? And what is your nationality? I guess we're kind of international here.
Yeah. My name is Santiago, and I play guitar and sing leads and backup vocals in the band. And well, I'm sort of live in the U.S. by way of Winnipeg, by way of Sweden, by way of Romania, by way of Chile. So I've been around.
I'm Christina. I play violin and I do backup vocals, and I live in the United States. Born and raised in California. I've moved to a bunch of places around the U.S., so I've traveled quite a bit as well, but just in that country.
Cool.
I'm Chanel, and I just got asked to do guest vocals for Project Constellation, as the old singer has recently quit and needed a new singer to sing in the upcoming show. So here I am, and I'm Canadian.
It does seem like they're trying to rope you into being a permanent.
I was gonna say.
I sort of get that vibe. Yeah, I'm feeling that. I'm like, I'm.
Do you have anything against being kidnapped? Do you mind a lot?
Across the border.
Thus far, I've been kidnapped for 2 shows and a rehearsal and a Witchpolice interview.
Right.
So I'm sure many more kidnappings will take place.
Oh, we look forward to them.
So I guess just to give some context here, I mean, I know 2 of you. Obviously, the American here is new to me, which is cool. But I mean, Santiago, you've been in a lot of weird stuff. Like, just like thinking about
putting it lightly.
Yeah. Like every time I talk to you, I hear about some other weird project you were in that I didn't realize. Like anything from like playing guitar in a punk band to being a Buddy Holly impersonator.
That's true.
Just like whatever else. So
whoa, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
You recorded a bunch of demos.
It's
Buddy
funny
Holly covers.
because we were just talking to Alex, the guy who's going to play the bass at our show, about that. He's a big Buddy Holly fan, and he didn't even know about that. And I guess it was before you showed up at rehearsal today, Chanel. But I do keep forgetting about that. No,
how do you forget about that? It seems like something you would just be like, I was Buddy Holly impersonator.
Well, I guess because you got so much stuff under your belt, and then and like it all just blends into one. Right. No, but when I first moved to Winnipeg, I was mainly in the more punk rock, indie, whatever scene, and then from there it progressed to more sort of country covers / tribute act / well, I mean, I was in the reggae scene for a while. Yeah, I was in various reggae constellations, reggae bands. I've done a little bit of it. I'm sure I'll think of more stuff. And I wasn't playing music for the longest time. And then me and Christina here and her soon-to-be ex-husband and her sister, we all kind of got together and as fun, we're just jamming. And then, we just started sort of putting together songs, and then one by one, everybody quit except me and Christina.
No. He can put that into the soundtrack later, or like an audience. Yes, it's a spill before a live audience.
Witchpolice Radio.
Live audience, kids screaming in the background and playing.
Monday, happy Witchpolice. Tuesday, Wednesday, Witchpolice. No, anyways, so we started booking shows, and we started getting decimated members-wise, and then we have a whole bunch of shows booked in the States. We've done a few as just a two-piece. Yeah. But here in Winnipeg, we're looking to get more and more gigs, and I remember my good friend. She's a good friend now, I should say. I don't want to make it sound like we knew each other way better than that, but anyways. And I was like, she probably would sound really cool on some songs, and I reached out and did some sending of audio clips over the worldwide interweb, and she's added a lot to our stuff.
Cool.
Which actually sounds
Thanks,
cool.
Man.
You're welcome.
How did you get into this though? Like, did he just send you a song? You're like, yeah, cool, I'll do it, or were you actively looking for a project?
No, I was jamming with another buddy of mine in Winnipeg, and we just posted like an Amy Winehouse cover of Back to Black.
I think I saw that.
Yeah, I just threw it on my Facebook, and then sure enough, Santiago's like, "That sounds great. Can you sing vocals on this song?" And then sent me an original.
So straightforward, geez.
Yeah, and it was just sort of like lickety split, like one thing after another, and like we knew each other from back in the punk rock days. So it wasn't like completely out of nowhere.
No, but
a little out of nowhere.
Yeah, because we hadn't really talked that much. Like it's not like every day, and then but I
probably hadn't talked to you for 10 years.
Oh, 2012.
So, right, you have a better memory than me.
He tends to, knowing him as long as I have, he tends to remember dates very specifically.
Yeah, like he knows the year.
Like that time in September 2013 when this happened. It's like, how do you...
I have no idea what I was doing.
Yeah, exactly. No idea. Too long ago.
That's funny.
So then, so how did you two meet, and how did this sort of come up? I know you mentioned there was other relations involved, family relations involved, but...
Oh yeah, no, I worked with his wife at Walmart, so she worked in the deli, I worked in the bakery, literally right next to each other, and so I've known them since 2014, since we moved to Grand Forks, and we've hung out quite a few times on and off, but then with the music thing that really brought us together, because he was like, oh hey, I didn't know you guys played instruments. He brought his guitar, we started jamming, and it was a blast. So, and we've just been trying to make this work ever since, and unfortunately with people, quitting, and my ex-husband, I guess that's self-explanatory. I don't need to go into details there.
That didn't work out.
No. Well,
it'd be weird if you're still in a band with him.
We're really harmonious.
Yeah,
one
right.
way or another.
I guess. Was it Mamas and the Pops, or what am I thinking of?
Well, I think there's a few Mac they're all married to each other, right, or whatever.
Yeah, wasn't that the other band? What am I thinking of?
Yeah, so she was married with the bassist or something, right?
Yeah.
Jefferson Airplane.
I think there's a lot of bands where that happens.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it was common.
But that's basically what happened. So we started playing, and we're just gonna keep going and see how far we can go with this.
Cool. Do you have a lot of background playing in bands or anything down there? Or?
I for violin and whatnot, I've played since 6th grade, and I played in orchestra. But this is the first time ever, hey, perform with a violin on stage. Usually when you're orchestra, you're like surrounded by a crowd of
and you
people.
got music in front of you and everything,
So you have one conductor and you are not on stage center and alone. You are surrounded by people, so it's easy to get lost in the crowd and blend in. It's okay, but now it's like, oh my gosh, I'm in front of people. So
yeah, I was thinking with 2, maybe 3 of you at the most, right? Like at this point,
yeah, exactly. I can't hide behind anyone. It kind of sucks. I don't have any meat shields, so there's nothing I can do about that.
This guy.
Well, that would really, just look kind of awkward. So I can't do that, but unfortunately. But no, it's been really fun, and yeah, I've been learning to sing too, because he's like, we need more sound. You're gonna do backup vocals now. I'm like, but I've never sung in my whole life, so now I've been practicing every day, and people give me compliments for some reason, so that's cool. But yeah, just gonna keep working at it.
Regret not going if I had the chance to go. And I don't regret my choices. Hey, some of them led to something, but I would regret not following the paths that I now know. Up and down these roads is where I wanna go. In and out of love is where I wanna fall. Anything that goes is what I wanna do. I just got my chance, now I'm gonna do it all. Since I can remember, I never got to go out. I never saw what life was. I never was allowed. I never was allowed to follow my own route. I never got to make my loved friend so proud. Up and down the road is where I wanna go. In and out of love is where I wanna fall. Anything that goes is what I wanna do. I just got my chance, so I'm gonna do it all. Even though it's hard to follow the unknown, I'll never run straight, I'll never run to, I'll never forget, I'll never go back. Up and down this road is where I wanna go. In and out of love is where I wanna fall. Anything that goes is what I wanna do. I just got my chance, so I'm gonna do it all. Up and down this life is where I might go. And with my guitar, I am gonna fall. And even if I do, it won't because of you. 'Cause I just got my chance, so I'm gonna do it all.
So then where does the particular sound come from? Because I know I've talked to you about this like kind of on and off since you've been sending me some tracks and things.
Yeah.
And I mean, it seems to me that it fits very clearly in the folk roots kind of
Yeah.
genre. But I mean, there's obviously the punk rock sort of thing. I don't know if that's because of you bringing the vocals in or whatever, but
I think there was some there before. She just brings it out like in an awesome way that it's like the blend of the two.
Oh yeah, definitely had the ska thing going.
Yeah, there was like
when you sent me the instrumentals.
Yeah.
And then I just sort of vibed off the ska thing, and what was funny about that is when I heard the song, I was instantly reminded of Gwen Stefani, like the first No Doubt, like the super ska No Doubt album, and then so I sort of put my voice into that sort of style.
Yeah.
So I sang it and sent it back to Santiago, and he was like, I was envisioning Gwen Stefani's voice on that.
Yeah,
so we were both thinking
that's
the same
right. Yeah,
thing.
when I originally wrote it, it was like how they would blend in like punk with ska with whatever rock with whatever and I wrote it with some with yeah, I know. That's my for sure. Yeah, that's my boot.
Yeah.
Anyways, inside joke.
Yeah.
So anyway, no, that is true. I was envisioning spider webs. That structure, that blend of like halftime whatever ska and going into the more but acoustic, because it was for her sister who was singing and playing the ukulele. So it wasn't gonna go too crazy. But no, it's funny because that is what I was singing. I hadn't told Chanel that. She just like send me a clip that's like, you sound like Gwen Stefani. Yeah, I know. Like that's literally what I was thinking for this song. Like, that's cool. Like it was so weird that it was like we were so on different, I don't know, like on the same plane but not, because it wasn't like, well, you might want to listen to Spiderwebs before you send me anything. You know what I mean? Like it was like I was trying to influence her or anything. But you were asking before about the sound. I guess because we were like banjo, ukulele, 2 vocals, and a violin. So it was like, well, if we have to write music, it has to somehow fit. Like we're not going to just be able to like, I don't know, do like heavy metal. It's obviously not going to, well,
really stopping you, right?
But it's probably not going to sound, like on a ukulele, that's just going to be, you know what I mean? Like, so it was, I guess it was like, I mean, I'll incorporate some of my, whatever, the stuff that I like, punk, whatever, rock, oldies, whatever, Buddy Holly, right? But with like this instrumentation, so it doesn't sound empty, it doesn't sound like, like something's missing, and I guess that's the long and the short of it.
Well, you know what, the good thing about this, speaking of Buddy Holly, is that like now that we're doing this, and once this comes out, it gives me an excuse to share those old Buddy Holly recordings again.
I want to hear those.
I'll send you after.
I want them too.
Still out there.
Pretty good.
The recordings are still out there on that. What is it, Angel Fire, one of those?
No, I put it on Witchpolice. They're on.
But the web page was originally like. What was the thing back in 04?
Again with the years, he's got the years.
Yeah, well, that's what I did. The project 04, 05, 06.
Do you remember the specific date on the calendar?
Well, I mean, it started as a now defunct dinner theater. That's how and I just slipped on to, like, they were just audition. This is when I was doing music full time, so that was my only income. And I saw this ad, and they were going to put together like a 50s dinner theater, and I just like, well, I mean, I do the odd Buddy Holly song, the old Richie Valens song. I'll go and audition as that. And they're like, you're really good. Like, you should definitely.
No Big Bopper songs though.
That's true. And then like that's how it, like they just cast me as that, and then doing that show, people would approach me as like, oh, you're really good. Back then I was skinny and stuff, and I looked the part a little bit more than now. The glasses and all, and so they were like, do you ever do shows as your own thing, as a tribute thing? And I was like, no, but I guess I could, and that's how it started. And that was it was fall, winter of 2004 with the dates again. Because I think they tried doing it a few different seasons or lineups, but it never really took off. I can't remember their names. I want to say like Review something, but I could be wrong. Anyways, and that's how that started. And from there, I was doing Buddy Holly, or I would do like Buddy Holly as the first set or the second set, and then like just other whatever 50s, 60s covers as just to fill up, because unfortunately, he didn't have all that many, or not that many famous anyway. So it's just kind of hard to fill. It's hard to fill a whole night with just 3.
Was that the only real previous time that you'd been like the front man of something though? Because I know you've been in a lot of bands over the years, right? But I mean, this one obviously, I don't know if you are the front man because everyone seems to be singing, but like you lead on at least 1 or 2 songs in this group, right?
Yeah. I mean, I probably had, but nothing in that anybody would really have remembered, or I mean, I was always in pub bands on and off, so it was like front man. I'm doing air quotes for you listeners out there. I like doing air quotes. So
it's also his thing.
That's my thing. So I mean, in that sense, but not like the Buddy Holly was like a show. It was like me impersonating him, doing his stage shtick and his way of talking and stuff like that. So and then in this case it was by default because our former singer quit. So I was like, well, I mean, I was second in command for singing, so that just leaves me kind of, and well, hopefully we can kidnap that young lady over there on a more permanent
with your
basis.
permission, of course.
I don't know if that counts as kidnapping if you ask permission. It's like taking a trip.
They've already been sending me like information packages on like how to get my green card to tour the United States. Like after our first meeting, I'm like, shit, these guys are serious.
Well,
we
don't play around.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't mess around.
We get down to business.
Even better, you have a lot of time on your hands.
Well, that.
So so the like you were just saying, the whole multiple countries and kidnapping and things like that.
Let's focus on that for a minute. So you guys are kidnappers?
Well, I mean, like,
international kidnapping. The band is just like a stage. There's a front.
We'll put it on our Facebook page, advertise that for
international
sure.
Kidnapping. Well, I mean,
no one will believe us, so it's okay.
All joking aside, though, how, I mean, especially if you end up being a full-time member or like a regular member, how do you make this work? How do you make how far away is
Grand Forks? Like 2.5 hour drive.
Yeah, it's nothing.
It's not too bad.
No, it's not. Like, we're looking for sure to play in Winnipeg and around, this part of the country a lot more. With her child situation, she realistically probably couldn't tour very far. So if I was a ballpark, I would say Thunder Bay would be the farthest. Like Regina would probably in the other direction would be the farthest. So we're not talking weeks and weeks and weeks on the road, or like where we just never know when we're going to come home. Like in our younger days.
Right.
Or you just bring your kid on tour.
When he's old enough, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
What?
I mean,
You could be our merch guy.
There you go.
When he's old enough, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny because a lot of the venues down south, anyways, I don't know what's up here, but like a lot of them are all ages, and like we've had literally like 5-year-olds at our shows.
That's awesome.
Yep.
It's like so random. Like, and you and I, Sam, were talking about that now shows are so much earlier. And back in our days, like they started at like 10, 11, and you didn't want to be the first band. You wanted to be like at 1, kind of thing. But now they're like, load-in is at 3 o'clock. We start about 4:30. It's like, what?
It's awesome.
Are we playing a kindergarten or something? I mean, it's good in that sense. Like, you're home by 9, 10, but it's just it's interesting because I've been gone for so long. I haven't really seen that.
Well, is the Winnipeg thing just because, I mean, first of all, if you have one member in Winnipeg, that makes things a bit different, I guess. But is it mainly just because you having lived here and knowing people here, and the
a little bit of both? And with right now, I guess because of the liberal visa rules for playing in Canada, that means Christina can do it without any problems.
Nice.
So it's like, then it's worth it, and it's close. It's a bigger city. It's bigger than even Fargo or anything. I mean, the closest would be Minneapolis, but that's already turns into an 8-9 hour. Once you factor everything in, it's like, well, then you might as well just come here. There's tons of venues here, and I mean, I kind of remember the scene, sort of. Not. I'm sure
you were in the weird parts of it too, right?
So but I mean, the
Buddy Holly parts.
Yeah, that was all I did for 12, 13 years. At dinner theaters is all I did. I was trying my luck at the punk thing, but no. So it's like, I think it's a good place, to woodshed and and try it out, on various. I mean, just from the venues that we've seen around here, or like I said, within driving distance, a couple there in Brandon and like I said, Regina, and it's like, well, that's doable, with a kid waiting back home and stuff like that. It's and it's not going to break the bank, and it's not, So I don't know. What was your question?
Said too many times. It's been said too many times.
I remember when we first met. You asked me for a cigarette. 2 years later, you say you're gonna quit, but honey, I don't know if you're ever gonna commit, 'cause it's been said too many times. Too many times. It's been said too many times. It's been said too many times. Once you told me we traveled the world. I came along when your band took 100 miles later. We ran out of gas. I guess we'll go again when we got the cash, 'cause it's been said too many times. It's been said too many times. It's been said too many times. It's been said too many I can't pay the bills and I owe you. Cause it's been said too many times. 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 It's been said too many times.
Very cool. Sounded good. Sounded good. What I was getting to actually
All right.
was that was a good answer. What
That wasn't the question, but it was a good answer.
It leads me kind of to what I was going to ask. Is that like, what is the music scene like in Grand Forks? Is there much of a scene that like
It's more
speak
covers and country. There's a few original venues that we've played.
Well, how big is Grand Forks? I mean, I've been there a long time ago, but not.
I want to say 30,000 people.
Oh, really? Okay, so it's
it's
not
very
big.
little.
Yeah.
Everybody keeps saying kind of like up here, like, well, it was better in the 90s. It was better, So but I didn't live there at the time, so I don't know. But there's a little bit of a scene. It's just not very big,
Right.
and so that's why you kind of have to go elsewhere, and that's why we're.
Are there a lot of smaller towns around there that you can hit up for
well,
shows, or-
Fargo, Bismarck.
We
They're
did
not
go to
too-
Bismarck. We did go to Minot.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's on.
I know of all
very-
these places because we used to get like one. Do you remember that one American TV channel you used to be able to get back in the day? And I would always be having news from like Minot and Bismarck, and it's the only reason I know those names.
No.
I don't know what it was. It was like the one American channel that would kind of come through when I was a kid. And
No, I just remember my mom liked to go shopping in Grand Forks.
Yeah, people did that too,
back
yeah,
in
sure,
the day.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
because the dollar was
Yeah.
better or
Yeah.
some shit.
well,
We
the
used to-
'90s too, right? Especially
The
was brutal up
90s.
here,
Yeah, we used
Yeah.
to stay at the Come On Inn.
Oh yeah,
That's
yeah.
all I really know from Grand Forks. But you
get a
know,
show there.
if you are if you are 2.5 hours away from Winnipeg, I mean, you may as well come
Yeah.
Yeah.
to Winnipeg.
That was
for sure.
my
the
yeah.
most happening music scene.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, yeah.
Then I don't got to go anywhere.
You have to be
We'll do all the legwork, so you
But
have
we want
to
to
commit.
kidnap you, Chanel. Come on, we want to kidnap. No, but yeah, I mean that's where the sort of Winnipeg comes in, and we really appreciate you taking so much time to, push our name and get us connections and things like that. That's really nice of you.
Well, I just get to hang out with you more too when you're in town. Right?
That's true.
that helps,
Get
yeah.
to see my old friend here.
Yeah, exactly.
But so that's why two birds, one stone. You know.
Well, Winnipeg also, I mean, I don't know if this was intentional or not, but Winnipeg also has such a good scene for roots and country and folk. And, I
Alright.
mean, I know you guys are kind of, it's hard to figure out exactly where you fit in there.
Yeah.
But the violin alone sort of puts you in that category,
Yeah.
right? I mean, so there's a lot of opportunity, I think, here for that style, those styles.
Yeah.
So you can fit into. Because you can play a punk show,
Yeah.
and you can also play a country show.
Yeah.
And
And it's funny because we were talking to a mutual friend there, Greg Rikas, and when he first heard some of our early recordings, he was saying that he was comparing us to what was it, Ghost Mice and Independent Ohio or something like that.
Okay.
And there's some kind of name like that. And then fast forward a whole bunch of months, and we're playing in Minot, and this guy you guys sound exactly like Independence, Ohio. And I guess there's all these acoustic punk bands
There are
out there,
lots of them,
with
yeah.
violin and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And I didn't even know
you guys
that.
aren't quite crusty enough, though. You
Well, no, he was saying, well, you sound more popish, but
Yeah.
it's still, it still fits in that category. It's more clean than whatever. And I mean, I only heard a handful of their songs, so I'm not going to say I'm a connoisseur, but yeah, I mean, I could see the resemblance. I could see we're better though.
Totally not biased at all.
No, it's not
No,
my opinion. Are you is there any plans to kind of grow the size of the band? 'Cause I know you mentioned earlier you had the banjo and ukulele things happening. I mean, now you've gone from that to 2 and then maybe
Well-
back to 3 depending on the kidnapping situation. So are you wanting to get bass drums, things like
Well,
that?
we have a bass player that's performing with us on a few shows. Again, a mutual friend, Alex. Can't remember his last name. Anyways, and then on occasions, these other two friends of mine had said that they would volunteer playing percussion / sort of backup guitar.
Okay.
Also here in Winnipeg. So yeah, I mean, I guess we're trying to be as open to any sort of addition.
Right.
I mean, the songs are fairly simple. They're all 3-chord songs. I mean, it's not rocket surgery. So it's easy to incorporate somebody, or like in the case of Chanel and Alex, where they just randomly sing harmonies, and it's already like, wow, this song sounds so much better now.
Yeah, it's a more full sound.
Yeah.
And
nice.
his bass playing and her ad-libbing, and it's like, wow, I didn't think the song was going to be able to go there, and now it can. So now it's actually a much better song than I originally. So yeah, I mean, we're definitely open. We have we had a few people in mind that were gonna play with us in North Dakota. One guy's gonna sit in with us in Minot when we go back there, and then this other guy was gonna do some other shows. I don't know if that's gonna work out or not, but yeah, I mean,
So just sort of people, you have someone in every city.
kind of thing, like, you know, like that's at this point, you know, I mean, we only became 2 members after we had a whole bunch of shows booked. So it was like either start canceling, do him as a 2-piece, or see if we can kidnap people. There's that word again. See if we can get people to sit in with us, and you know, the latter has worked and the 2-piece has worked.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
Cool. What is the significance behind the name? Because when I was trying to, like you mentioned, I've been kind of telling people about you guys to hopefully get you some more attention here. And the name, I've heard from not a few people that it sounds like a prog band.
Well, it's funny because I mean, it was when the first of the 4 members quit.
My ex-husband.
That we were talking about. Yeah, we're a new constellation. We're a new now because I like to use big words.
The word stuck. Oh, and he was very pushy about using like a sci-fi kind of font, like an old like 70s.
Because I was like, well, that kind of sounds like 70s sci-fi, something like something out of Planet of the Apes or something.
Well, it sounds like a band that has like a drum set with 700 pieces.
Well, if you look at it from a musician point, if you look at it from a music point of view, but it to me it kind of sounded like something that you would hear in Blade Runner or one of those like we were all part of Project Constellation and we were meant to I don't know, inhabit Mars or something.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so we were playing around with the fonts and like that, that 70s computer type, like, that kind of looks good. I mean, she's into sci-fi and so is her sister, so I was like, well, I mean, it plays into their thing anyways, but I don't know.
I mean, I think I'm very, people who know me are aware that I'm really into having outer space themed music and whatnot. And robots. No, it's cool. Robots and whatnot. That's the spaceship flying by. We're good.
Speaking of.
Well, that was perfect timing. They're calling us home.
Yeah. But, is the sci-fi thing just basically relegated to the name and the logo, or are you going to some of that in the songs too?
I mean, this band at this point, to many extents, is just alive to give Christina some musical therapy, and I know she likes her sci-fi and her anime art, and so she's been doing all the drawings and the logos and the whatnot. So it's like in a way I'm indulging her with that. I mean,
I appreciate it very
if
much.
we had some other like I don't know, some other stereotypical folk band, I don't know, Johnson and Sons or something, I don't know, I think of, like, well, then she couldn't really do the the backdrop moon and the animated, then it would really be weirder. So there's a little bit of that, I guess, why we're still with that name.
I appreciate that.
Are you guys
Or
gonna...
maybe Sam's really onto something and we need a synth keyboard
Yes, you do.
and
That-
like galactic spaceship.
We have to at least do one song like that. Then
Sure,
it's okay.
Stem cells.
Perfect. Yeah, it'll be this galactic ska punk
We are a
space
sci-fi
rock
band.
folk band.
Wasn't it in that show that they did that had a sci-fi folk band
Which show?
with the nerds?
The Nerds?
Not sure.
Big Bang Theory.
I don't know. I never watched it. I've seen like one episode.
They had like some kind of a sci-fi acoustic band or something, and it was all referenced.
I think you're heading in that direction.
Yeah,
I think all signs are
we're gonna
pointing
be
to
we're gonna be singing about
This is our
anime.
future.
Well, but you showed me some anime theme songs that were very folky and
Yeah.
country and blues.
Yep.
Except
Cowboy
like,
Bebop soundtrack, just for any anime lovers out there. It's fantastic.
I don't know this stuff, but so I was like, I mean, I guess it works. Yeah, we could keep that. Plus, I was never good at thinking of names.
Right.
That was never my department. I would like arrange the music, teach everybody what to play, and that's it.
And sorry to interrupt, but I was also really liking Christina's analogy tonight. Like, you guys had like lost these other constellations of your band, and they sort of like dropped out. And then you said, "I'm like the new constellation," and so it's formed a new constellation with a new shape and a new direction and a new orientation. So that was a really beautiful description of the band name from earlier.
It was much better when you said Santiago.
Maybe you should talk less.
Like you were mentioning, you know, you're usually not the name guy.
Yeah.
You're handling the arrangements and things like that.
Yeah.
Who is writing the songs in this project? Is it a collaborative thing, or?
It's mostly him, to be honest.
It was mainly me and her sister, and
Yeah.
then her sister disappeared, and then by default it became me, and then we started trying to collaborate on stuff, and then we're hoping to get Chanel in with her input. It's awesome. But yeah, no, to answer your question, it's so far has been 95% me, I guess.
Okay.
You know?
Yep.
And then we hijacked some of the old songs,
We
revamped
resurrected them. and
revamped them, you know.
breathed
Did you
new
change
life.
them significantly?
Well,
No, we-
vocal wise, I guess,
Vocal-wise,
because
yeah.
it's not now. It's like her sister has a very beautiful petite voice, whereas I sing more rocky-ish, and with her, I mean, she blows everybody out of the water with her voice.
Yeah.
So that
Chanel's
makes
voice is
just brings
awesome.
everything to a different
Yeah.
level altogether.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was some rearranging, and of course, you know, well, now we got to fill up more sound because we don't have banjo, we don't have ukulele. Okay, so if I'm doing a solo, then Christina here will do like chords on the violin sometimes, or where there would have been some kind of melody, now she's playing it on the violin or things like that. So
Yep.
you know, in that sense, it's changed, you know, to fit both as a two-piece and, you know, as a 3 or 4 or however many.
And then when you get your space synth, you can fill in everything. It's all good.
You won't even be playing instruments.
Yeah.
You'll be pressing
Just press the button and
buttons.
just on a dance. I'll say I played a show once at the Albert, and the opening act was a guy who did electronic music. And I've always I like some electronic music, but I'm definitely not super well versed in how it's made a lot of the time. And so I'm always interested to watch people perform it, because I don't know, are they just hitting play on a laptop, or are they actually doing stuff live, right? Sometimes you can tell they're doing things live. Sometimes it's just, are you doing anything? Are you really doing it? You know. And this guy got up, pressed a button, and then just stood there in front of his equipment while the songs played and just kind of looked around. That was the whole set.
Brilliant.
And we were all just kind of watching, like, is this performance art? Like, something going to happen? And no, he just... the music
Wow.
was cool, but...
Best show ever.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's pretty weird. So
You practiced very hard for that.
Yeah. Well, I think it was definitely rehearsed. Very deliberate.
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of those, like, I mean, the now late great Avicii, and what's that other guy?
I'm not laughing because this guy's dead. I'm just laughing because the guy just died. I had never heard of him before. And I just read the day that he died at, like, super young, so that's horrible. But I feel bad now because I'm laughing. But yeah, I know.
But anyways, him,
May he rest
and-
in peace.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and what was that Martin Solveig and all those? I don't know. Like, I mean, they
Well, you're Swedish. You should know something.
Yeah, oh yeah, we go way back.
Gosh.
But well, I did sort of apparently kind of grow up with what's his name?
Can't be that famous if you don't know his name.
No, but I'm bad with names. Good when stuff happened.
Good with
but just-
dates,
Yeah, the guy who did what's that with the girls working out a few years back?
What?
Yeah, there's girls working out in the video. It was like so controversial.
Okay, I have no idea.
And like they had that 80s sweatpants and the big
Al
hair.
Johnson and Joanne McLeod?
That's what it sounds like. Yeah. Sure. Body
No,
break?
yeah. No, it was like a remake of something that was a remake of something. It was one of those. And then, call on me, call me, call me. That's how it goes.
You might as well just sing the whole thing.
Blondie?
I don't think it was any
No. Ah, shoot. Anyways, apparently I sort of grew up with him. We grew up on the same block in a little town outside of Stockholm, of all places. And my friend, who I was really close to, was like, yeah, you know, like, what's his name? You know, yeah, like, we used to always, like, you know, like, and we'd hang out at the mall. So, like, I mean, I guess. But anyways, so... I don't even know where I was going with that.
I'm not sure
But anyways, I think I was still riffing on, you know, people doing electronic music, and I don't know.
And then
like-
you made the name of the guy that died, and I felt bad for laughing.
Yeah.
So where we get from here.
What is his name?
You'll remember.
It's okay. You'll remember, like, on
Yeah.
the way back to Grand
I can't
Forks,
believe
yeah.
you guys don't remember the video, because yeah, it was like something like the most controversial on.
He'll wake up
I
in the
think it was
middle of
still.
the night
I
and
think it was still
remember
MTV back then, and like they're like working out, you know, like doing all the '80s kind of movements, and then like it's just him. He's the only guy in the room, and he's just like.
I have
You know,
no idea what you're talking
air
about. It's okay.
humping. if I show you the video and you hear the song, you'll be like, oh yeah, that. Oh my God, turn it off, turn it off, turn it off.
Okay. I'll take your word for it.
It'll be one of those like, yo, this was on the radio every summer. I can't even remember what year.
So if people are hearing
Yeah.
this, and I think probably a lot of people who are listening to this will be hearing about you for the first time on this show. So, keeping in mind that this isn't going to come out for a while until after we're recording it, what's the best thing for people to do to find out more information? Like, if they want to find out about shows or hear some music, what should they do?
Or Bookface.
Definitely go. Bookface. Go to Facebook because you're going to confuse people. They're going to think that's actually a thing now. It's going to happen. So go to Facebook and go to Project Constellation.
We don't write out the word colon.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to write out the word. It's just just press of a key button,
And,
whatever. So anyway, it's all we put up. When we're playing shows and whatnot on there, and dates and times, and
We have our SoundCloud page.
yeah, we have SoundCloud as well, where we have our
songs.
we have our recordings of our songs on there that we've done so far. And we're going to continue to record and post when we can. So
Cool. That's the main. Facebook's the main thing, the main source of
For now,
information?
anyways,
Yep.
yeah.
Cool.
because
As we're recording this.
Well, no, I mean it's a fair thing to say because it might not come out for
I
a couple
know.
months, right? So yeah.
I know.
yeah.
By the time this comes out, you could be, who knows?
By the time
We
this
moved-
comes
Like the
out,
keyboards will be
We
full.
we totally
full
moved on
Yeah.
to like
Yeah. robots
MySpace,
have taken over the world. There is no internet.
We fooled them because we played synthetic music at that point, so we were well prepared.
Passed as robots and they accepted you as one. Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Okay, so Facebook, do that.
There you go.
And
Yeah.
Chanel, do you have anything else going on Winnipeg-wise that you're involved in, or is this kind of the main thing?
Yeah, right now I'm just doing the solo thing, realizing that I suck at piano and guitar. So little do these two know, I'm actually going to kidnap them.
Okay, get into the back door.
Yes, they're going to guest play on my solo album, so doing that thing. And I'm part of a little project called DJ Jazzy Jess and the Fresh Princess.
I've seen some stuff online about that. What is that?
Okay. So,
It looks very 80s influenced.
That's my girl, like early 90s. Yeah,
Okay, early 90s,
that's
yeah,
my,
fair
that's
enough,
my girl, DJ Jazzy Jess, and I'm the Fresh Princess. And she's like, she just started spinning like 90s hip hop, like learned through, I don't want to say the name because I forget. But yeah, like, was honing in on her DJ skill, and she was like, I don't want to just be like she's like, I want to add something more to the show. Will you be my backup dancer?
Right.
And so sure enough, I started backup dancing, and then we started to blow bubbles into the audience, and then bubbles blew into sparklers, and then inflatable crocodiles, and then signs
That
and
escalated
glitter,
quick. Sounds awesome.
and lots of glitter. And so now the next step is we
Bricks.
started writing our... What's that?
No, it's bricks.
Bricks. That's
went
a
from
brilliant
bubbles
idea. Yeah. Well, we did have
confetti.
a toilet paper gun at the last show,
that's pretty
so
awesome, yeah.
bricks would be the next
Natural
step.
progression.
Yeah.
Of course.
And now we're just starting to do our own original raps that we're going to be throwing into the DJ
Awesome,
mix.
awesome.
Yeah.
So you're like the Flavor Flav to her Chuck D, or?
Exact.
You need a clock. Do you have a clock?
Everything we do is like a little spin off of that.
Right,
so
right.
I've been thinking about what I
You
could
get an alarm
do.
clock, a digital alarm clock.
Okay, that's brilliant. Okay,
You
yes.
should get a Google clock.
Yeah.
It's like like digital red numbers.
No,
I know
Sam,
what you mean, yeah.
that's brilliant.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
that
happening
is
for
it.
the next show. Absolutely.
Cool.
Definitely
And then
wanna come see that.
Where can
Oh.
people hear about that? Like, you have a Facebook page for that as well?
We don't have a Facebook page yet.
You have something, though. I've seen-
Make one.
It's
Yeah, I was
just,
gonna say, I feel like I've
We're
seen-
gonna get on that. Right now, we're working on a promo video from all of our shots we played Shine On Music Festival.
Oh, right on.
In 2017. So she is luckily a professional videographer.
That helps.
So she's putting that together, and then once we got that little video together, we're gonna make our own Facebook page.
Cool.
And all that funky shit. But once we're up and running like that, you should interview us on
I should,
Witchpolice.
definitely. Yeah, let me know. Yeah.
That would be
Yeah,
wicked.
for sure. Anytime.
Yes.
Especially if there's like bricks and glitter and alarm clocks. totally down. Totally down.
Thank you for the alarm
I feel like
clock
you'd
idea.
have to be like in costume and character for the interview, though. I think it would be-
Yeah,
So-
we'd
so
have
even
to
though it's
film
audio,
it.
even
So
though- you'd have to
everyone
film
can
it.
see.
Yeah, that would
us.
have to be a
We'd have to
visual
film it.
one.
It would have to be
yeah.
at least a camera going in the live stream or something. Yeah.
That's 50% of our show.
For
is
sure, yeah.
The
Yeah.
visual.
Right on.
Say.
Okay, so if people are hearing this show for the first time, maybe they're big Project Constellation fans and they are tuning in for the first time, you can go to witchpolice.com. You can find probably close to 300 episodes by the time this comes out for free download and streaming. You can also tune in to ULM-FM on Sunday nights at midnight, which is the absolute best time to listen to the radio. If you're up at midnight and you want to hear an old episode. Those are older episodes, so this is late April recording this. It might not air till like September or something.
Right.
So by then,
wow.
maybe you'll have an album out. Maybe you'll be touring. Maybe you'll have a Facebook page for the the other project, right? So yeah, so it's kind of cool because it gives like a second win to each episode. So even though they're available online whenever, it's kind of like, hey, just a boost for for this. So that's a good way to check it out. And you can also find us on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and all the crap under Witchpolice.
Right.
And yeah, that's what's up.
No, we're just happy to be here.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Yeah, of course.
thank
Thanks for
you.
coming over.
Thank
Yeah, awesome.
Thanks.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Can we stop talking about statuses? Honestly, we've gone from hot to cold to no comment. Where are we going to have a constant thing? I can't go from gray to clean. And can you stop changing your profile pic? I'm so sick of people constantly asking, isn't that your chick?